All right, folks, buckle up. We're diving deep into the world of Forever Litespeed Hosting today.
Sounds exciting.
It is, and we've got this super detailed review as our guide.
A deep dive then.
Exactly. Choosing a web host, it's like, well, have you ever tried picking out a paint color?
Oh, too many choices.
Right. Too many
Yeah.
options. You get analysis paralysis.
I feel that.
Well, think about this. The review starts with this story. A food blogger, right? Their site crashes, like totally crashes,
Oh.
right when their recipe goes viral.
Oh no, the worst time.
Talk about a nightmare. So we're going to see if Forever Litespeed is the real deal or just hype.
Let's find out.
Okay, so this blogger, they were juggling all these different hosting plans. The review actually says it was like keeping flaming torches in the air.
That's a lot. So did Forever Litespeed, take away some torches?
They took them all away. The blogger moved everything, their recipe blog, a photography portfolio, and even an online shop, all under one plan.
Wow, that's consolidating.
Right. Sounds amazing in theory, but I'm thinking, does it really save you money, or is that just, marketing magic?
Well, the review definitely makes it sound like saving money is possible. One control panel, one support team, maybe even just one bill to pay each month.
Makes sense.
And it's not just about saving money, it's like a bigger trend.
Yeah.
People want things simple, especially if they're not tech experts.
Right. Who has time to become a web hosting expert when you're trying to, run a business or share your passion? But let's be real. What good is all that simplicity if your website takes forever to load?
You're telling me?
The source actually compares their old host's speed to molasses in January. Ouch.
Yeah, that's painful. Slow loading times are the worst. Users just won't wait, and search engines like Google, they notice too.
So it affects everything, your ranking, your visibility.
Everything.
And that's the bottom line, right? It affects your success.
Absolutely.
Well, this review raves about Forever Litespeed speed, and they credit these things called Litespeed web servers. What's the deal with those? What makes them so fast?
Okay, so imagine other web servers. They've been kind of patched up over time. Lightspeed is built from scratch to be fast.
From the ground up.
Yeah, exactly. It's like comparing, a horse-drawn carriage to a sports car.
Okay, I like that analogy.
It uses something called event-driven architecture, which I won't bore you with the details.
Don't.
But basically means it can handle a ton more connections using less power.
More efficient.
Way more. Plus, it has this really smart caching system. Think of it like remembering your most used emojis so they pop up right away.
Okay, so everything's ready to go.
Yeah. The source says their website felt like a rocket ship after they switched.
Nice. And get this, one of their posts went viral, and the site didn't just survive, it actually did even better.
That's what you want.
That's the dream, right? Faster loading, happy visitors, higher search rankings. But switching hosting providers, that sounds scary.
It can be, yeah.
Migrating a website, it's like performing surgery, digital surgery on your online presence,
Right, there's that fear of breaking something.
The source actually compared their previous migration experience to a digital crime scene.
Oof, that's rough.
So how did Forever Litespeed handle it?
Well, get this. They actually moved the source's e-commerce site, which was the most complicated one, during their busiest time of year.
Hold on, peak season. That's risky, right?
You would think so. But the review says it was smooth sailing.
Really?
Yeah, like snapping your fingers and everything just transferred over.
That's incredible.
And the source talks about how the Forever Litespeed team was there every step of the way, communicating, giving updates, holding their hand through the whole process.
So it sounds like they're not just selling server space, they're selling peace of mind.
Exactly. That's a good way to put it.
But let's talk security, right? Our websites are like our babies. We've poured our heart and soul into them.
Absolutely.
I got to keep them safe.
For sure. Security is everything online these days.
And the source, they use this amazing phrase to describe Forever Litespeed security. They say it's like a fortress with laser beams and guard dogs.
Okay, that's a visual.
Right. But what does that actually mean, practically speaking?
So the review mentions free SSL certificates, strong firewalls, and regular security updates.
Okay, so it's not just hype. They've got the real deal.
Yeah, they've got all the bases covered.
All right, so let's break those down one by one, starting with SSL certificates.
Sure.
I know they're important, but I'm a little fuzzy on what they actually do.
Okay, imagine an SSL certificate like creating a tunnel, a secret tunnel, between your website and someone's browser.
Okay.
And in that tunnel, all the data is encrypted.
So it's protected.
Totally. Things like passwords, credit card info, all that sensitive stuff is hidden from anyone trying to snoop.
So it's like a bodyguard for your data, escorting it safely through the internet.
Exactly, a very strong bodyguard.
Okay, now what about firewalls? They sound kind of scary.
Well, think of a firewall like a bouncer at a club
Okay.
is checking everyone at the door, making sure only the right people get in.
It's keeping the bad guys out.
Exactly. It's a barrier between your website and all the chaos of the internet.
So it's filtering out the bad stuff and letting the good stuff through.
Yep. It's constantly on guard.
And what about those regular security updates? I always
Yeah.
wonder, are those really that important?
They're crucial. Think of it like, patching holes in a fence.
Keep those bad guys out.
Exactly. Hackers are always looking for weaknesses, and those updates are like plugging those holes before they can get in.
So it's a constant battle.
It is. And the great thing is, Forever Litespeed does those updates automatically.
Oh, that's awesome.
Right. You don't even have to think about it.
So it's like having a dedicated security team working behind the scenes 2004/7.
Yep. Always on the lookout.
That's pretty reassuring. But all this security is great as long as it doesn't come with a super complicated interface, right?
What about the control panel? I mean, you don't want to need a computer science degree to figure it out.
Right. You want something user-friendly? Exactly. The source actually struggled with their old host's control panel, compared it to deciphering ancient hieroglyphics.
Oh, I hate when it's like that.
But with Forever Litespeed, they say it's totally different.
So much better.
They call it intuitive and user-friendly, even joked that they expected it to offer them a cup of coffee.
Sounds pretty nice.
Right. So even if you're not a tech whiz, you can figure it out.
Yep. That's the idea. Empowering users,
I like that. Speaking of empowering, let's talk about customer support.
You got it.
We all need a helping hand sometimes, especially when technology decides to be, well, technology.
Right. Things happen.
The source called the Forever Litespeed support team superheroes. Pretty high praise.
That is.
They had this issue, a plugin was causing all sorts of problems, and the support team swooped in and saved the day.
That's what you want to hear.
Right. Responsive, knowledgeable, and they really go the extra mile. But what impressed me was this proactive support they offer.
Proactive.
Yeah, it's not just about fixing problems when they pop up, it's about anticipating them,
Oh, like preventative care for your website.
Exactly. That can save you a ton of headaches down the road.
For sure. It's like having a guardian angel looking out for your website.
I like that. It's about having that peace of mind, knowing there's someone there to help.
Absolutely.
Okay, now let's talk scalability. The source brings up this scenario, the dream scenario. A blog post goes viral, traffic explodes.
Every blogger's dream.
Right. But with their old host, the servers just couldn't handle it, like a digital stampede.
Yikes. So scalability is making sure your website can handle all those new visitors.
Yeah, so it doesn't crash and burn.
Right. It's like having a stadium that can expand to fit more people as the crowd grows.
I like that. So how does Forever Litespeed handle those traffic spikes? The review uses this traffic cop analogy, but I'm still not quite getting it.
Okay, so their system is designed to intelligently, route traffic, preventing bottlenecks and keeping things moving smoothly.
So it's like a smart traffic management system for your website.
Yep. Think of it like instead of one lane of traffic, they have multiple lanes, on-ramps and off-ramps to keep things flowing.
So even if your website suddenly becomes super popular, Forever Litespeed can handle it.
That's the idea.
Pretty impressive. All right, let's shift gears to something nobody likes to think about. Data loss.
Oh, yeah. Nobody wants to go there.
The source actually shared a story about losing content, like poof, gone.
I hate that feeling.
It's the worst, right? They described it as watching their hard work just vanish into thin air.
The dreaded blank screen.
And that's where automatic backups come in.
Backups are a lifesaver.
The source was singing the praises of Forever Litespeed's automatic backup system.
So they saved the day.
They did. The source had this plugin issue, wreaked havoc on their site, but those backups were there.
That's peace of mind right there.
Right. You can undo mistakes, recover from disasters. It's like a safety net.
Exactly. You never think you need it until you really, really need it.
Okay, now let's talk about testing. The source brought up this thing, one-click staging, and compared making changes on a live site without testing to a Picasso painting.
A Picasso painting?
Yeah, disjointed and confusing.
Oh, I see. So testing is like making sure all the pieces fit before you unveil your masterpiece?
Exactly. One-click staging lets you play around with changes without affecting your live site.
So it's a safe space to experiment.
Yeah, try out new layouts, colors, plugins, all that stuff without breaking anything.
That's a great feature, especially for people who are, maybe not as tech savvy.
It takes the fear out of experimenting, right?
Exactly. And that's a good thing.
Now, the review also mentions some glowing testimonials from other web professionals.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, a developer praising the control panel, a social media guru talking about improved uptime, and an editor raving about the
So,
service.
like, they're covering all the bases.
But I'm always a little wary of testimonials, like it's just one side of the
Yeah,
story.
got to take them with a grain of salt.
Exactly. It's like getting restaurant recommendations from friends. It's a starting point, but you want to do your own research too.
Absolutely. Don't just take one person's word for it.
Right. Look at different sources, compare, consider your own needs, and then make a decision.
That's the smart way to go about it.
So we're diving deep into this Forever Litespeed Hosting review, but we're also encouraging you to think critically.
Always a good thing.
Don't just take our word for it or the source's word for it. Do your own digging and see if it's the right fit for you.
We'll be here to help you navigate it all.
Exactly. We'll break down the tech jargon, share our insights, and hopefully help you make a confident decision about your web hosting.
Sounds like a plan.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground, but there's still more to explore. Let's dive back into the review and uncover some more gems.
Just do it. And there's more. The source raves about all the goodies you get with Forever Litespeed. They're calling it an all-in-one deal. Unlimited NVMe SSD storage, a free cPanel license, free business emails, and of course those automatic backups we talked about.
Okay, now we're talking. But hold on, some of those terms sound a bit, technical. Like, what exactly is NVMe SSD storage?
All right, imagine this. Regular hard drives, those are like bicycles. SSDs are like cars. But NVMe SSDs, those are supersonic jets. They are fast.
So basically, my website will be zooming.
Exactly. NVMe stands for, well, it's a mouthful, non-volatile memory express. But all you need to know is it's the technology that makes data access super speedy.
Okay, so it's not just about storage space, it's about speed, too.
Speed is key. And speaking of, what about cPanel? Have you heard of that?
Yeah, it gets mentioned a lot, but I'm not really sure what it does.
Think of cPanel as the control center for your website.
Okay.
It's where you manage everything, email accounts, databases, security settings, you name it.
So it's like a central hub for all things website related.
Exactly. And the best part, Forever Litespeed throws in a cPanel license for free.
Nice, so you're saving money there, too.
Yep. It's a great perk, especially if you're new to this whole web hosting thing. Now remember those customer support superheroes.
Oh yeah, they saved the day with that plugin issue, right?
They did. But what makes their support so special? Is it just about being fast, or is there more to it?
The review really emphasized their proactive approach.
Proactive.
Yeah, it's like they're not just waiting for problems to happen, they're actively looking for ways to prevent them.
Oh, I see. Like staying one step ahead of the game.
Exactly. They're constantly monitoring things, offering advice, making sure everything's running smoothly.
That makes sense.
It's like having a personal trainer for your website, always pushing you to be your best.
I like that. Okay, now let's talk scalability again.
Right, making sure our websites can handle those viral moments.
Exactly. Remember that analogy, the stadium that expands to fit more people.
Yeah, so our websites don't collapse under pressure.
Right. So for Forever Litespeed, they have this system that's designed to intelligently, distribute traffic across multiple servers.
Oh, okay.
Think of it like instead of all the cars trying to squeeze through one narrow road, they have multiple lanes and routes to keep things flowing smoothly.
So even if there's a sudden surge in traffic, the website can handle it.
That's the goal. No more digital stampedes.
I'm feeling much calmer now.
Good. And speaking of feeling calm, let's talk about backups again.
Oh yes, those lifesavers. Like having a rewind button for your website.
Exactly. You know, those automatic backups, they're great, but it's worth thinking about why they're so important.
Well, I mean, who hasn't accidentally deleted something important and wish they could just, undo it?
Right. We've all been there.
Yeah.
And backups, they're like that undo button for your entire website.
So you can go back in time and recover from mistakes or disasters.
Exactly. It's like having a safety net, you know? You hope you never need it, but you're really grateful when you do.
Okay, now let's talk about testing again. Remember that Picasso painting analogy?
Oh yeah, testing is like making sure all the pieces of your website fit together before you show it to the world.
Exactly. And with Forever Litespeed, you have that one-click staging environment to play around in.
It's a great way to experiment without any risks.
Right. Try out new layouts, plugins, anything you want without worrying about breaking your live site.
It's like having a secret lab where you can tinker and experiment to your heart's content.
I like that. Now, remember those glowing testimonials we talked about?
Yeah, the developer, the social media guru, the editor, all singing Forever Lightspeed's praises.
Right, but we also talked about taking testimonials with a grain of salt.
Absolutely. It's just one perspective, one piece of the puzzle.
So it's important to do your own research, compare different hosting providers, and consider your own specific needs.
Exactly. Don't just jump on the bandwagon because someone else had a good experience.
Right. What works for one person might not work for another.
It's like finding the right pair of shoes, you know. What fits comfortably for one person might pinch the toes of another.
Okay, I like that analogy. So we're encouraging you to be an informed consumer, do your homework, ask questions, and find the hosting solution that's the perfect fit for you.
That's what it's all about.
So it's about meeting users where they are, providing a consistent and enjoyable experience, whether they're browsing on a desktop, a laptop, a tablet, or a smartphone.
Exactly. And, mobile optimization, it's not just about how the website looks.
It's got to work well, too.
Right. Think about navigation menus, buttons. Those have to be easy to use on a touchscreen.
Yeah.
Imagine trying to fill out a form on your phone, and the buttons are so tiny.
Oh, the worst. Like trying to hit a bullseye with a dart, but the dart is like giant.
Yeah, exactly. Mobile optimization, it's about making sure those interactions are smooth, no matter what device you're using. Plus, Google's watching,
Oh, yeah, they're always watching.
and they've made it pretty clear if your website's not mobile-friendly,
You're in trouble.
pretty much, it's a
Right.
ranking factor.
Yep.
So you can have the best content in the world, but if it's not optimized for mobile,
People won't see it.
right, search engines will penalize you. It's like having a storefront with a giant closed sign on it.
Nobody's coming in.
Exactly. So how do we make our websites mobile-friendly? There are a couple ways to do it. Responsive design, that's where the layout adjusts automatically to different screens.
So it looks good on any device.
Yep. And then there's separate mobile websites, like a whole different version of your site just for mobile users.
Interesting. So Forever Lightspeed, they can help with this whole mobile optimization thing too, right?
For sure. Think about it, those Lightspeed servers, the caching.
All about speed.
Exactly. And speed is especially important for mobile users.
Mm-hmm.
They might be on slower connections. They're not going to wait around for a slow site.
They'll just bounce.
Yep, they're gone. Okay, now let's switch gears a bit. Let's talk about content marketing.
Content is king. Right.
It is. It's what attracts visitors, keeps them on your site, and hopefully turns them into loyal followers or customers.
But it's got to be good content, right?
Absolutely. Not just random stuff. It's got to be valuable, relevant to your audience.
So it's about understanding who you're talking to.
Exactly. And giving them what they want. What they need, content marketing, is like having a conversation, not just shouting at people.
Okay, so it's about building relationships.
Yeah. Building trust, showing your expertise, and there's so many ways to do it. Blog posts, videos, infographics, you name it.
So many options. And Forever Lightspeed, with their focus on speed and all that, they can help with this content marketing stuff too, right?
Totally. Think about it. A fast-loading website.
Yeah.
That's a good user experience.
Happy visitors.
Exactly. And happy visitors are more likely to stick around, read your blog posts, watch your videos,
So it all ties back to choosing the right hosting provider.
It does. It's all connected.
Yeah.
Okay, now let's talk about something that can be a little intimidating. Website analytics.
Oh, yeah. Analytics,
Yeah.
not everyone's favorite topic.
I know, it can feel overwhelming. All those numbers, charts, graphs.
Like a data overload.
But the truth is, analytics is super powerful. It's like having X-ray vision for your website.
You can see what's working, what's not.
Exactly. You can see how people are finding your site, what pages they're visiting, how long they're staying.
So you can make informed decisions about, well, everything.
Right. It's not just about guessing anymore. It's about using data to guide your decisions.
Yeah.
It's like having a GPS for your online journey.
Okay, I'm liking this analogy. So how does Forever Lightspeed fit into all of this analytics stuff?
Well, remember, a fast-loading website, a good user experience, all those things we've been talking about, those can actually improve your analytics.
So it's all connected again.
It is. If your website is performing well, those metrics, bounce rate, time on site, all those things will look good.
And that means happy search engines.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Which means higher rankings and more visibility. But, and this is important, analytics is not a one-time thing.
You got to keep checking in.
Yeah, it's an ongoing process. You got to monitor your data, analyze it, and make adjustments as you go.
So it's like checking your bank account regularly, making sure you're on track financially.
Right. You got to stay on top of things.
Oh.
Okay, we've talked about security a lot, but it's so important that I think we need to reinforce it.
Double down on security.
Exactly. Remember that fortress with laser beams and guard dogs
Oh,
analogy?
yeah, that was a good one.
It paints a picture, right? We're talking about protecting our websites because cyber attacks, they're not a matter of if anymore. It's when.
So we got to be prepared.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And there are layers to this, like an onion.
Okay, I'm intrigued.
So the first layer is your hosting provider, right? Forever Litespeed.
Yeah.
They've got the SSL certificates, the firewalls, the updates.
That's the foundation.
Exactly. But then we, as website owners, we got to add our own layers of protection.
All kind of layers.
Strong passwords and two-factor authentication.
That's where you need a code from your phone or email, right?
Yep. Adds an extra layer of security. And keep your software updated. Those updates often have important security patches.
So it's like putting on armor one piece at a time.
Exactly. And don't forget about regular malware scanning. You got to make sure there are no digital bugs lurking on your site.
So it's a combination of technology and good habits.
Right. We got to be proactive, educate ourselves, train our teams.
So security is a team effort.
It is. Everyone has a role to play. Okay, last but not least, let's talk about backups one final time.
Can't have too many backups.
Exactly. It's like, you know those fire drills they do in schools?
Better safe than sorry.
Right. Testing your backups is like that. It's a practice run. You got to make sure they're actually working. You can restore your data if you need to.
So it's not just about having backups, it's about knowing they'll work when you need them.
Exactly. And that peace of mind is priceless.
Okay, folks, we've covered a lot of ground today, a deep dive into Forever Litespeed Hosting.
You went deep?
And the source of this review, they were clearly happy campers praising Forever Litespeed's speed, security, all that good stuff.
But remember, this is just one perspective.
Exactly. Take it all in, but do your own research too.
Compare different hosting providers, read reviews, ask questions.
Figure out what's important to you, what features you need, what your budget is.
Think of it like planning a trip.
Okay.
You wouldn't just book the first flight you see, right? You'd compare prices, read reviews, figure out what destinations and activities align with your interests.
Right. You got to do your homework.
Exactly. And choosing a hosting provider, it's kind of like that.
It's a big decision.
It is. Your website is your online home, so you want to make sure it's in good hands.
So take your time, explore your options, and choose the hosting solution that empowers you to build a website you love.
Couldn't have said it better myself. And if you have any questions along the way, you know where to find us.
That's right. We're always here to help. Happy hosting, everyone.